Discovery Days. I'm Yaneli Lopez, and this is Newsmakers. In this edition, we will explore Discovery Days. These are an opportunity for high school students to come to Missouri Southern State University and spend the bulk of their day inside a specific area of study and getting to connect with college students taking those classes. We begin our conversation with Lainey Graham, who is with the MSSU Admission. Thanks, Lainey, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. So when did the university first get their start on Discovery Days?
Yeah, so Discovery Days have been around for a while, but they died off a little bit, so we revamped them and started them back up around 2021.
All right, and so what's the overall goal for this?
Right, so any recruiting event, we just want to get kids on campus. Any chance for us to get high school students onto campus helps raise our percentage of them actually coming and attending Southern. So this is just a different look for them to see campus a little bit differently.
All right, and does this help with recruiting students?
Yeah, it definitely does. The immersive experiences they get to have in those classrooms during Discovery Days really shows them what going to class at Missouri Southern will look like once they're a student here.
Okay, and how many departments participate in the Discovery Days?
So we have our honors, teacher ed, our STEM, our criminal justice, and then our art. So that 5 departments put on their own Discovery Days.
All right, so we're actually going to discuss with a few of the departments here later, but briefly describe what happens exactly during a Discovery Day.
Yeah, so when they come out for a Discovery Day, they're all going to look a bit different based on what the department wants them to see, but the overall goal, they come in, they're going to probably hear from admissions, a little bit of financial aid, and then they are going to get to go in and have those immersive experiences, talk with students that are current college students in those departments as well, and then have an opportunity to get lunch and just see what campus looks like.
How is this any different from just a simple tour that anyone can get, I guess, any day?
Yeah, exactly. So I think these are a lot more individualized. On our regular campus tours, they do get to meet with an advisor, but I think that it's a lot more beneficial to those students to be able to talk with actual students, not just professors and advisors, and then get to experience it doing those different activities rather than just hearing about it.
So is it mostly teachers that do the directing or walk the students, or do students actually get to, the college students get to participate in that too?
Yeah. I'm not the most positive. That would definitely be a question for our departments. To my knowledge, they do have students that come in and help them out. I know that on my end, some of our Southern ambassadors provide tours, so they get to hear from students about campus overall that way.
Okay. And when the high school students come, do they have to decide on a specific major, or is it like, hey, I just want to see what this is about, and maybe later on in the day go to this thing? How does that go, I guess?
Yeah, so when they come in, they do have to pick a Discovery Day because a couple of them happen on the same day, but others happen later on in the month. So they have to decide. There's nothing that says they couldn't come to multiple as long as they're not happening on the same day.
Okay, so they don't have to have a specific major in mind,
no, we're not going to
for this.
Exactly, yeah. We're not going to be like, well, you came to, the teacher ed Discovery Day, so you have to do teacher ed once you're here. Well, that's not a verbatim.
Okay. All right. So how do students get signed up?
They can go to our website and click visit, and it's going to show as one of our events happening under Discovery Days, and then they'll pick which one they want to go, fill out a little questionnaire, and they're good to go.
Do they need their counselor or their high school counselor or advisor to get them in here, or is that just something they can do with their parents on their own?
It's something they can do with their parents or with their counselor. It's open to both.
So you were a former student, and back then they didn't have Discovery Days. Do you think you would have benefited if you were in that program back then?
Yeah, I think as a student looking for a college, I really would have enjoyed Discovery Days because it can get boring going on lots of different campus tours when they all aren't showing you exactly those hands-on, they're not getting you in those classrooms, and I think the Discovery Days do a good job of really immersing our prospective students into the environment. Speaking
of hands-on, I know some of the departments, they do equipment and stuff like that. Do you think that pushes the student to be like, okay, this is what I actually want, or is it just a cool experience just to enjoy that day?
I think we see both for our students that are actually really here as an interest, not just as a way to get out of school. We see them enjoying those hands-on experiences because that's not something that every university is going to offer them. So it really helps to set Missouri Southern apart in that way.
All right, and do you think it's a challenge to have, because they're obviously going to communicate with college students now. Yeah. Do you think there's always a worry of the college students being like, no, this is so hard, I regret this major or anything? Or do you think it's always going to be a positive outcome with that conversation?
Yeah, I think that the departments do a really good job of having the current students there that enjoy what they do. They really like their major. They have big aspirations. And so most of our prospective students are going to hear about those and how Missouri Southern is helping them get to their overall goal.
Okay, and then do you think, how some people are deciding on 2 majors? So joining Discovery Days might help lean more towards another, or if they could still do both at the same time? Do you think that pushes for that, or is it more directly to one sort of major?
I definitely think it can be beneficial to deciding between what major you want to go into, because it's really hard to read a piece of paper and say, yeah, I'm going to enjoy that. It's a lot easier once you get to experience it hands-on. And like we talked about earlier, getting to maybe go to multiple discovery days, if they have them in both the areas you're interested in, helps you make that final decision. Or even just coming to one, you loved that day, you're going to do that. Or maybe you didn't love that day, so you decide the other majors for you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lainey,
Yeah.
for all the information. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will visit with faculty taking part in the STEM Discovery Day. Welcome back to Newsmakers. MSSU has an immersive learning focus, and that's something future students can explore during Discovery Days on campus. And that is certainly true of science, technology, and engineering, and mathematics or STEM programs. Joining our conversation about Discovery Days are Miss Claudia Wilson with Engineering Technology and Dr. Mary Kilmer from the Department of Biology. Thank you both for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so Miss Claudia, when students come to a STEM Discovery Day, what can they expect to see and do?
So industrial engineering technology is an applied engineering field. It's an exciting field where students learn how to take processes and make them more efficient. So along those lines, we have activities planned for them to where they get experience what they might be doing in that area if they were to join. And one of the things is we test them in their teamwork and problem solving skills with a bridge contest where they get a kit of rather unconventional materials and then being challenged to build a bridge, and the winner would be the ones that build the most sturdiest bridge with the least amount of items that they have used from the kit, along with a robot race where they're racing against a robot. They're building domino blocks, and on every repetition the robot is being sped up, and whoever is last standing is winning that challenge. So to get a little bit of experience on what kind of equipment they would be seeing. And we have a cookie decorating challenge. So it's a cookie simulation to where, I mean, they deck those cookies out. It's a heart attack on a platter by the end, but it is a process that they have to follow, and whoever gets to decorate the most cookies in a certain amount of time is the winner. And they get a couple of iterations to kind of rearrange the process to see what would you be doing to make your process more efficient.
All right, so it's a lot of competition and challenge.
A lot
both
of
those things are actually pretty
competitions,
fun.
yes.
So.
We hope, yes, for sure.
And for Dr. Mary, what are they going to see?
So there's several other groups that are part of this as well. So chemistry, computational math, and then various biology workshops are involved as well. And so students have the chance to sign up for areas that they're particularly interested in. Everything is designed to be very hands-on and immersive learning. So for example, if a student is interested in wildlife ecology, we're going to have some of our ambassador snakes out that they can hold and they can handle, different animals on display that they can work with. If they're interested in microbiology, they get a chance to go into a lab and use the microscopes and look at different microorganisms. Our health-focused students are going to be down in our working with the cadaver lab, working with our anatomage virtual dissection tables. So there's just a little bit of something for everybody, but it's all designed to really be engaging to the students and hands-on.
That's true. And so you just mentioned about doing hands-on and what we call activities and so sorry. So can doing hands-on, like touching the microscopes and actually using them, can it be enticing for them to lean more into going into that field?
Oh, certainly. I mean, most of, and I know this is probably true for IT too,
For sure.
most of it is very much skills-based. It's hands-on work that you would be doing in the workplace as well, or in higher education programs. And so for students to get to experience that themselves, it's really much more meaningful than just sitting and listening to someone talk to them about a program. They get to actually be immersed in it and understand what it's like to do those things. And so we found that students really enjoy that.
That is true. It is more fun. Do you see a benefit on that part?
Absolutely. A lot of times when students come, I don't know if that's true for your area too, but they really don't have a clear understanding what that particular field of study is actually about. And to have them in the building where you can show them the learning spaces, the lab spaces, and actually physically let them touch it and talk to it, it's gonna bring a whole new other meaning to what they actually want to end up doing.
That's true. So as faculty, why is it helpful to have more time with a prospective student?
For that very reason.
I would say, I think the more encounters they have and the more chance you have to tell them what kind of options are available in a career path, what sort of educational options are there. I think a lot of students are very limited in what they think they can do with a specific degree. And so if we get someone that wants to come in biology, they want to be a doctor or a dentist, and that's about it. And when we tell them there's thousands of jobs that you could do with this degree, it really opens their eyes to some of those other possibilities and things that they may not have ever considered or encountered. So the more chances you have to work with them and talk to them, the more likely it is that you can introduce them to something they might not have considered before.
That's true. So that actually leads into my next question. Do you think students that don't know what major or how to even go about choosing a major for a field, once they know about that, do you guys get more students to apply for biology?
I don't know if I would say we get more, but I think we get students that have a more realistic idea of what they can do with that degree.
Is it the same for engineering?
I don't know, because we haven't really been doing this for a long time. So this is relatively new still. But I do know that when students come, they leave out of some of those activity sessions and they say, I didn't know that is what that meant. So at the very least, they walk away with a better understanding of what might be in store for them, something that they didn't know. And ultimately that's the goal, right? To get them ready for a career in STEM, knowing, oh, that's interesting. That is different than what I thought it would be.
It's something I hadn't considered.
Right.
And I think there are some that it works the other way, but to their benefit, that they realize maybe this isn't the career path that I want to take. This wasn't, it's not what I thought it was after seeing it on TV. But I think that's one of the benefits to us holding multiple types of Discovery Days on campus, is they have an option to go and look at some of the other areas too. So it's not just within STEM, but outside of STEM, they have a chance to go and explore other areas. And so it does help them clarify what they want to do.
Kind of pinpoint it, that is true. So how helpful is it for students to simply make a connection at a college before deciding what major?
I think that's huge, because ultimately they want to feel like they belong to something and not like floating around all by themselves, and to just have a familiar face or know where the area is that they're going to be studying, or have met people that are in that area already studying, or even the faculty. I think it's another touch point that is going to make that transition so much easier for them.
And I would agree. I think meeting people, whether it's students, faculty, whatever it might be, having those connections, it helps them visualize themselves as part of that degree and part of that department and part of the greater campus community. And that having that kind of mental image just makes that transition much more simple for them and smooth
let's
for
face
them.
it, that is probably one of the most anxious times they go through in the days before. So to be able to lower that a little bit, I think that is just smart.
Have you guys seen a positive result in enrollment after Discovery Day?
So it's a little bit early to tell on that. We've done 2 of these right now. So the students that we would have targeted at previous Discovery Days would essentially just now be considering applying for college. So we are definitely tracking those numbers and trying to see what the impact is, but it's a little early to tell currently.
We're taking a quick break, and when we return, we visit with members of Fine Arts and Communications departments who are joining the Discovery Day program. Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are focusing on Discovery Days, and this year the Communications Department joins Fine Arts for Discovery Days. Here to talk about their presentations are Brian Marins, Master Instructor of Communication, and Professor of Art Design, Frank Pischker. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, pretty good, thank you.
So, Brian, this will be the first year for the Communication Department to be involved. What will be part of your demonstration for that day?
My big focus usually is on the LED virtual studio, and so I really enjoy just sharing how that space can be utilized for virtual production commercials or films, and to talk about a little bit how lighting is important to get the concept and present the piece in an effective and believable way. So lighting is usually one of my big things that I focus on, but also the background of whether you're going into filmmaking or computer animation, visual effects, even video game development, that all of those abilities can be utilized in this context.
Are the students going to get like any hands-on experience or anything like that?
Absolutely. I always try to welcome as many students who are interested to move some lights, run the camera, sit in, also even run the computer. So I like to get as many students involved in that process as possible.
Well, that's good. So Frank, this is communications first year. How long have you been doing the Discovery Days?
Fine Arts has been doing Discovery Day with music and theater for about a dozen years now. It used to be in the spring. It used to coincide with their main recitals for determining scholarships, so like February-ish. We moved it to the fall semester about 6 or 7 years ago when they started doing more than one scholarship day, and it didn't make sense for it to be the Discovery Day at that point. Plus, we just think if you're thinking about going to college, thinking about the arts, fall is a lot easier time to figure out and where you want to go, what you want to do, than right away spring and then maybe you're graduating. So doing it earlier made a lot more sense. And then we started adding the English department for literature, creative writing, poetry into our Discovery Day. And now we're doing all the media arts as well with communications.
All right. And do you think this is a good way for students to see an insight of the world of fine arts?
It is, especially because so many of them are sort of interrelated. You know, you can be a theater major, but really also want to do musical theater, so a real tight tie with the theater there. Or you might want to be writing your own plays. There you have the connection with the English department. So there's an opportunity to learn about all of the art that's being taught at Missouri Southern and the interconnectedness of them. And then you can make a decision, okay, I'm going to major in this, minor in that, or I'm going to double major, or, well, this thing I thought I wanted to do is not what I want to do, but this thing over here sounds really interesting, so that's what I want to do.
Okay. And Brian, I know, or actually something Frank mentioned earlier, so I know communications has the showcase, the media showcase. How is that any different for Discovery Days?
I think the showcase is a great way to celebrate what high school students are creating, and that we also create opportunities for them to interact with local professionals in areas of media. But much of that showcase is focused on like celebrating what they've done. What we hope to present here is just a lot more hands-on opportunities of understanding like what, if you came to Missouri Southern, what you could potentially focus on and do, not only as a student here, but then also as a career, but also love the collaborative element that so many different departments can come together and create like a really cool experience for the students.
All right. So some people might think that communication is only about broadcasting, but the landscape is changing with technology. What are the variety of careers available in the comm department?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So the kind of career you want to go into, any kind of media, as the need for media creation is just constantly expanding. And so whether it's through digital social media, through streaming services, still over the air broadcast and cable television, there's so many different areas, whether it's news or entertainment, that more and more content is constantly going to be expected. And so anybody who wants to create content or manage content, whether it's in social media or through social streaming services, there are lots of career opportunities for that. And also just learning to communicate in general
Yeah.
is a really fundamental skill that would be valuable in any career that you pursue.
That's true. And is there a difference, Mr. Frank, for the fine arts when someone doesn't know what the major exactly offers? Did they learn about that on Discovery Days?
Oh, absolutely. We have 4 different distinct degrees that we offer in our department, and they really are sort of built around what sort of future you envision yourself having. And a lot of people don't realize that or understand which degree they really want to go into. So this is an opportunity to kind of, all right, if I wanted this sort of job, this is the degree that's going to get me there quicker. And so the Discovery Day is a quick way to kind of discover those sort of things. Plus, the interconnectedness. Like, we share a certificate with communications with the new media because we have a lot of design classes that overlap with content creation and putting it out there in a digital format. And so this is just another way to kind of get that information out where, all right, you want to do this, well, here's how you can do that here.
All right. And then what will students be doing as part of the art and design?
On our side, what we will be doing, we'll do a tour of all of our immersive studios, especially the traditional art media ones. And then we will have a workshop all the students will undertake to help them develop a portfolio suitable for applying to college, suitable for a scholarship, or suitable for getting into art exhibitions.
Do you think the high school students are going to meet college students that are currently in those majors?
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of opportunity. We don't have a whole lot of like a workshop with just the students, but they'll have an opportunity to meet a few of our students along the way as well.
All right. What about Mr. Ryan? Do you think are the high school going to meet some of the college students?
Yeah, we're hoping that, I think when it comes from a current student, a college student, that it means more sometimes coming from that perspective than just a faculty member. And so allowing that perspective, I think, is really valuable. And so I'm excited to hear how students interact with our students here.
Was there any worry about college student being like, yeah, this isn't what I thought it would be, or something negative about the major? Or do you think it's always going to be a positive conversation with the high school students?
I imagine that, yeah, most of our students here are really enthusiastic about what they get to do. And so I hope that some really good conversations come from that, yeah.
And honestly, I think sometimes the negatives are the more important part because a lot of the negatives are pretty small quibbles, and then that's quickly evident. And then it's like, okay, if that's all they have to say bad out, that means so much of it's really good.
That is true. Brings it to reality. So, all right. Well, thank you both so much for sharing about Discovery Day.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
And one more short break, and we will be back with the faculty from Performing Arts and the perspective on Discovery Day. Music, voice, and theater all make up the performing arts, and our students have made the decision to come to MSSU after coming to a Discovery Day. Joining us to talk about that is Assistant Professor of Theater, Natasha O'Brien. Thanks for making your visit with us. How are you doing?
Thanks for the opportunity. Doing great. Thank you.
So, what is planned for your Discovery Day?
We have a lot of wonderful, exciting events for Discovery Day. You know, we always enjoy having students on campus, and they will come through our building, and band, voice, and theater will all do demo so that the students have an opportunity to see what our students are up to. We may even, of course, we like to get students up on their feet and have them join in with us too.
That's true. So how does Discovery Day create a spark in the students coming?
We've had some really great results from Discovery Day. You know, it's targeted towards juniors, I think, juniors and seniors, of course, but just by hearing our students' stories and interacting with our students and getting the opportunity to hear from the instructors and faculty within our department, it ignites that passion for the arts that they already have in public school or in K-12 or whatever they're coming from, and just tells them, hey, we can level up. Coming here to MSSU, we're going to have the opportunity to perform in band, vocals, or theater.
That's true. So do you think doing this Discovery Day works?
I think it is a really wonderful tool. Our students are some of our greatest ambassadors, and again, just letting our students and our faculty connect with incoming students or potential students really does have a great impact.
So you are doing the theater part of it. Are you going to have students like do like a little play, or what is anything? What's the one project, I guess, specifically?
So on my end, what we'll do, this is right before, Discover Day is October 4th, and so it's right before our production of Schoolhouse Rock Live, which is our fall musical.
Oh.
So I'd love to have students from the musical perform a short scene, and then we will get our students, or our guest students, up and have them interact and do a little bit of improvisation or a little theater activity along with the college students.
That sounds like fun, though.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So who should come? So those coming, what should they do to prepare to come to a Discovery Day?
So what I've been told, because this is only my second year, what I've been told is admissions will reach out to those students, provide the counselors with registration information, and then students can go ahead and get registered for the event.
All right. So you said this is your second year. Is there anything different that you're going to do this year that you didn't do last year?
Oh my, now that I know a little bit more about what we do and how we do things, I have excitement about it. I can be more prepared, and I think we'll definitely do more student-led activities. So I'll let the college students really get in there and show what they're learning, because that's a great practice for them as well.
All right. So you did mention it's on October 4th. Can you give us a little bit more detail on the day and the time, and what do parents have to do to get their students registered for yours?
So 9 to 2 is what the schedule says, and to be quite honest with you, my supervisor just says, hey, they will be contacted by admissions and they can fill out that registration. That will then come to us. I think that we can follow up as needed, but parents and counselors can work together to get students registered for the event.
All right. And so that is also part of the performing arts band. Do you by chance know what they might be doing, or is that separate from what you have?
So we all collaborate a lot, but it is a different department. What I would guess is that band will do a demo, and then Dr. Robinson is very exuberant, and I'm sure he'll have some sort of presentation that the students can engage in.
So how many years has band been in it?
Oh, band has been part of Missouri Southern for quite a while. It's always been a part of their history. So is theater, but I'm just new faculty.
Oh, okay.
As far as my time here, my second year here.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking about what the theater department is going to do for us.
Sure thing. Thanks for the opportunity.
Be sure to let a high school student in your life know about Discovery Days and a chance to explore the future at MSSU. That concludes this Newsmakers. I'm Yanela Lopez. Thanks to all of our guests, and thank you for watching.